War and military are universal concepts. They have ancient beginnings, but are just as relevant today as they were then. In order to establish yourself as a country with power, you need to have a military. There are three major parts to running and maintaining a solid army: recruitment, funding, and unity. In any order you'd like, all three are not only necessary, but also require constant care. In order to keep up with these requirements, advertisements are created, or sometimes called propaganda. As far as America is concerned, the first war is the American Revolution, and gradually the U.S. became a force to be reckoned with. The World Wars proved this, and specifically World War II was a hotbed for advertising the support of battle. These two wars, American Revolution and World War II, can be compared to nowadays and how we, or the government, use advertising for the military.
The recruitment process for the U.S. in the colonial times was simple and to the point. The means to recruit soldiers was limited mainly to posters, handbills, or newspapers. Many ads were directed towards privateers for the Navy. Many colonists joined the Navy to privateer because a portion of the plunder that ships gained in battle would be distributed among the crew. In contrast, recruitment for the Army was difficult. Being that the new government was just recently established, it was difficult to promise soldiers payment for their service. Also, there was little money to fund these advertisements because the government was so young and could not tax under the Articles of Confederation. Clearly, advertising for this war was difficult, but many Americans came together anyways to gain their freedom. The recruitment process wasn't too difficult during World War II. Since the Axis powers attacked Pearl Harbor, people didn't need much more of a reason to join the military. Regardless, there were still ads often making the Axis powers seem wild and barbaric to make the people want to put down the enemies overseas. These ads successfully inspired recruits to join through their hatred of the Axis powers. There were also many ads focused on the home front. The ads would ask what the people could do for their country while the soldiers were away fighting. Several of these advertisements were aimed towards women, encouraging them to get involved in the workforce.
In addition, funding for this war was mainly through war bonds. Several posters were asking people to buy war bonds. Also, there were even commercials to promote this before movies in the theaters. If you could not fight directly in the war, this was a great way for people to make a difference. Without a doubt, the events in Pearl Harbor made recruitment much easier because many people felt obligated to fight and come together after being attacked on home soil, making advertising less of a necessity. Recruitment today is mainly through media sources like magazines and TV commercials. Commercials are often aimed at making people feel obligated to serve the country and better themselves as individuals. Funding today comes straight through the Department of Defense, which is funded by taxes paid by the people. Also, ads to gain national unity are usually supplied through the news and newspaper propaganda. Much like Pearl Harbor, tragic events are also a major factor that sparks a sense of national togetherness.
Whether or not the United States is in time of war, military advertising is necessary. Over time, the ways by which the military advertises has changed drastically, but their aims remain generally the same. They have changed from simple posters to movie-like television commercials. Although they have evolved over time, the United States will always advertise as a duty to the nation.